Welcome to the Flat Earth Federation podcast. Boy, let's, I gotta talk about Trump. This is a man who does not believe in a flat earth. It's just, do we really want a non-flat earther heading our government? Are you kidding me? I would never support a candidate who doesn't believe in flat earth. It's just I always look for a candidate who for a second there I thought maybe Ron Paul was that candidate. Turns out he's not. You got to do research. You can't just assume. You cannot just assume. Don't assume the earth is round. Don't assume that a certain politician has certain views. You go out there, you find out. If you have to call him, you have to call him up. You have to call him up. You can get through if you keep on trying. You have to have a lot of perseverance. You can get through to almost anyone. I couldn't get through to Barack Obama, though. I tried a lot. I couldn't get through to Barack Obama. But Ron Paul, I talked to him. Come on. You can't have a round earth because otherwise then there's water. The water would not be contained on a round earth. It would flow. You don't understand exactly you have a certain type of, there's a magnetic field, and then in the ions, there's an ionosphere, and you have water, H2O, and there's a certain electrical component in, let's say you have a battery, okay? Because the earth is not round, it's flat. And essentially what I'm trying to say is, you cannot just open up a book, take in what that book says, and call it a day. There shouldn't be a direct path between book and mind. This is essentially, the entire scientific establishment is into that book-mind thing. The educational system as well, book-mind. Society, book-mind. The public, book-mind. I have something that's called a piece of sandpaper. When I read a book, there's a piece of sandpaper between me and the book. Because you don't want the book to go directly towards you. I'm speaking metaphorically right now. I don't actually have a piece of sandpaper. Come on, I'm not crazy, okay? That's the thing though, the establishment, they always want to make flat earthers out to be crazy. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, look at him. He's that's pretty much their take on the whole thing. They represent our society, people in our belief group, as people who are just like, no, that's not. Yeah, you shouldn't take those claims at face value. You have to just use the sandpaper. Use the sandpaper, not just when you're reading books. When I said reading books, I didn't mean literally. I meant reading books and doing other things. Doesn't matter what it is, You got to have that piece of sandpaper. Let's say your wife, your girlfriend is talking to you. She's blah, blah, blah. She's blah, blah, blahing as usual. You got to put up the sandpaper. Don't just receive her message directly. Even if she's a flat earther, it doesn't matter. Your girlfriend, your wife, you don't really listen to her in general, I would say. You listen to her maybe 1-2% of the time is probably that sounds like maybe 0.5%, I would say. It depends. But ultimately, and you watch TV and you got these women on sitcoms and they have everything figured out. They know what they're talking about. Their blah blah blahs are actually just like sensible. But that's the whole thing. Their television programs are misrepresenting the blah 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 completely. You don't want, and you're receiving that programming, and you might not even be aware that you're receiving the programming from your television, from this sitcom that you're watching. It doesn't matter what sitcom it is. A lot of sitcoms, Family Matters especially. Family Matters is the chief offender, I would say. Urkel I do like Urkel. I definitely am pro Urkel. I'm in favor of Urkel, but as far as some of the other messages sent by that show, no. And I really do think that Urkel is a flat earther. I really think so. You know, that's how he invented all those gadgets and so on. Various chambers and so. Remember the one where he like becomes like Bruce Lee? The Bruce Lee episode? There you go. That's because he believes in a flat earth. You think someone who believes in a round earth can invent something like that? Do you think really, seriously, do you think a round earther can transform into Bruce Lee? Have you ever come across something, example even close to that? No, you haven't. But the media, you know, the public, the educational system, scientists, what they do is they don't put their spotlight on examples that indicate just how effective flat eartherism is. Very effective. You can transform yourself into Bruce Lee, or a lot of other things. Urkel did a lot of things on that show. I mean, if you watch the final season, which some people haven't watched the final season, you'll really get a sense of what a brilliant mind he had. And again, if you don't have the sandpaper, you are not going to really gain an awareness of what I'm saying. You go to YouTube, you click on all the, you click around, you listen to some guy just running his mouth. Nonsense. Who is this guy? PewDiePie? I don't even know. I don't know what that is. Nonsense. You know, you're going to watch that without a sandpaper? You're going to watch PewDiePie? Who's PewDiePie? I don't know. Is it PewDiePie? Something to do with video games, I think. It's ludicrous. Okay, so I think we've covered a lot here. This episode of the Flat Earth Federation podcast. And we're gaining some ground here, you know. You got to follow me on Instagram. I don't have an Instagram. I don't believe in Instagram. You think I believe in Instagram of all people? No, I don't have Instagram.